What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this time I'm going to bring you 1 week, about a 3-run review of the Hoka Mach 4. There is a Mach 5 out, but the Mach 4 has been on sale for around $90, both at Dick's, Runners Plus, and also online through like Runners Warehouse and other online outlets to purchase these. So I kind of want to go through on my first impressions, who these may be for, may not be for. I do want to have a disclaimer that I'm not a professional runner. I work in a hospital setting as a clinical dietitian, and I don't run all that often, usually 2 to 3 times a week, but I have previously always done the Mizuno. These are the Wave Rider 24, but I think from Wave Rider 19 on, I've always done the Mizuno Wave Riders. And I'm kind of going to go through on why I haven't been super pleased with these over, I don't know, the past several years. Generally, I like the Wave Knit kind a little bit better just because they breathe a little bit better. These are more of a neutral, balanced, similar to like the Brooks Ghost, to where they're not too firm, they're not too soft, they tend to have good durability, so they can be a good trainer, longevity shoe. They're not always the lightest either. I think it's like 9-something pounds. Usually they're between 9 and 10 pounds, depending on your size that you get. So why did I go with the Hoka brand, which is more of these are more of a lighter, cushionier. I would consider them a little more luxury, even though most general running shoes between Mizuno, Brooks, and Saucony, Nike, Asics, Hoka, they're all going to be very similar price, within $10 or $15. So the first impression of these is they are definitely more cushiony, less firm than the Mizunos. They seem a little bit lighter, a little bit more, you can feel a little bit more of the ground with these, just because it does have a little bit more squish than the actual Mizunos do. So when I first put these on, they're very comfortable, they're very light, they're like 8-point-some pounds, 8.3, 8.5, so they're significantly lighter than my Mizuno ones were. I don't know why that is, but maybe because of the plate, maybe the plate design. This feels a little bit more of a harder material, especially it's got that plate running through it. But I haven't had good luck with longevity of these. Like I said, I don't run a whole lot, and they haven't tended to last as long as I would like. So I tried these out. I do have a few concerns in that while it feels very well built, I don't know how it will do in like wet or any type of, just because of how slippery it is on the bottom. There is a little bit of traction down here, but I just noticed it was right after it sprinkled for a little bit. It is a little bit more of a slippery shoe compared to the Mizuno, which had a little bit more grip. Would I run these in the snow? Definitely not. They don't seem like, not that I run a lot in the snow, but there is times where you run in the winter where there may be a little bit of snow left and you hit it just to get by on the sidewalk. So I probably should have went and talked about the style. So the style of these is very, I think, more modern. They look a little bit more flashy, I would say, than the Mizunos. Even when I was shopping, we have some decent good Dick's Sporting Goods in our area, and everyone seemed to, when I was standing around, they're pretty busy, the areas that I go to, and they all tend to kind of float towards these just because they're a little more flashy, a little more colorful. The Mizunos, while these are a little bit, I just got these on sale because they were like $90, but they do have a little bit more muted design to them, I think, than the actual Hokas, which are a little bit, this is actually one that was a little bit more, not quite as flashy, because I may actually wear these to work as they start to wear, or I tend to wear running shoes to work just because I find they're more comfortable. But the look of them, I think, is pretty good. The feel of them is very similar in the actual upper part. There's probably a little bit more breathability in the Hokas. They seem a little bit lighter, whereas these are the Wave Knit versus the actual Mizuno makes Wave Knit now, which basically it's supposed to be a little more breathable, kind of a knit feel at the top. they seem to be a lot more breathable. Your foot doesn't stay as hot in them. At least I found that my foot didn't stay as hot when I was out running around in them. I do like the little tongue here at the back. That's one thing that I've really had issues with, is these tongues wearing out. This is mainly when I start wearing these to work. So at some point, or maybe if I like these, I'll buy another pair, maybe a little bit a blacker color to wear to work. The tongue on the Mizunos tend to wear out. This is partly my fault because I don't untie my shoes. When I convert my shoes to work shoes, I don't untie them. I just slip them on and off. But I have not had the issue in the past. Since the Wave Rider 23s and above, I've started to have issues with. So the tongue on here feels a little bit more robust. It's a little bit thinner, that you can tell. These aren't quite broken in as much as other ones, but you can tell just there's a little bit more opening. It's not as snug, and the tongue is a little bit more pronounced to the top. Laces are very similar. I didn't have any issues or comments on the laces. I just felt like the top of this feels a little bit thinner and a little bit more of a lighter material than the Mizunos, which feel a little bit thicker, especially when you start feeling into like the sides of them. There just seems to be a thicker feel to them. But I've been pretty happy with them. They seem to, I'm almost 40, so I do start to notice the wear and tear from time to time. I do feel like that these may actually do a little bit better on my knees, my joints. After running in them for a week, I find that I don't quite feel as sore, which may be a placebo, who knows. I haven't been doing anything that different, except for we have a newborn, so that may be a little different, but I haven't been doing anything that different. I don't know how the wear will be on these. I haven't had them long enough. I've read they're not the greatest of wearing, at least like the Mach 3, Mach 4 of these. The Mach 5 seems to address some of that, at least in some of the reviews. But the Mizunos wear really well, besides the tongue has started to fall apart on my last two pairs. This one hasn't yet, but the other two previously, I've had issues with the tongue. It literally just starts falling apart, especially my work ones. It's still look brand new and still have plenty of tread left on the bottom. The tongue is just a hot mess already, so I can barely even wear them, and they're probably maybe 8 months old, which is a long time for a shoe, but not for one that you just wear to work in a hospital setting, walking around up and down stairs, things like that. So we'll see how these last long term. I think for running, I think these are a little bit better shoe than the Mizuno, at least the Wave Rider 24. They just feel a little bit more cushier, not quite as firm or as hard as the Mizunos do, and they're a little bit lighter, so that may get into the longevity of them, but they are a little bit lighter, feel a little bit more airy on your feet. So that's it. So if you have any comments, questions, leave them below. Again, I am not a professional runner or shoe reviewer. I just had time. I just noticed the dehumidifier kicked back on. I'm sorry about that. At some point I will fix that to where I can either turn it off all the time or get a lap mic. But that's it. Comments, questions, leave them below, and I'll get back to you next time. Have a good rest of the day, weekend, whatever is out there. And that's it.